Hello. In this series of tutorials, I will be showing you how to create a super duper simple 2D platformer using Construct 3. Now this will be a multiple part series, so make sure you have the notifications turned on so that you don't miss a new part to the series. But let's get started. So first off, of course, you're going to want to create your new game. And I'm just going to be naming mine 2D platformer for now to make it simple. And I recommend having the 16:9 aspect ratio with 1600 and 900. Now once you've created your project, you might want to scroll out a bit to give yourself a little bit more space to work. But first, you're just gonna need to create your sprite that's gonna be jumping around and be the player. So this could be anything you want, but to keep it simple, I am going to make this just a circle, and then I'm going to crop it to the position there, and then close that. So we have our player. Now the first thing that you're going to want to do is open up behaviors, add new behavior, and then you are going to scroll down to select the platform behavior. Now once you have that behavior, it's going to make so that your player can jump, can move around, it can do all the stuff that you would normally be able to do in a platform game. And then after you have your player, you're going to insert a new object. I highly recommend making this object a tiled background so that you can have a tiled texture for your, basically this is just going to be your platforms. So to kind of show, I'll just make some lines to show how it kind of tiles a bit. And then I'll just fill these in. So we have this, and then if you scale this up, it'll tile. Now obviously I didn't like connect the textures well or anything, but if you wanted to, you could spend the time to make a good texture for this. But once you have your platform base, you're going to want to scale it out at least a little bit so that when your player first starts out, it's going to spawn on the platform. Also, a thing to watch out for, if you are cropping your layout to your sprite, you're going to want to remember to move your center point back to the actual center. Now it might take a few tries to get it there, but do not forget to do that if you do. Otherwise it'll be all funky. So now, when you select this, you're going to want to add another behavior, and that behavior is going to be the solid behavior, which means that you cannot fall through it, basically. So when we go to click play now, we'll have a character that you can jump around and move with. So once you've added that, if you want to, you can add something to kill the player as well. This is going to be pretty simple, so you're just going to insert another new sprite, and you could make this anything. Once again, I'm probably going to make it like a green ball to kind of make it, or like a green square to make it look like it's like an acid pool or something. But yeah, so once you've got that in as well, you can move that around as much as you want. Also, when you do make something that isn't filled to this and you don't want to crop it to worry about the center point, you're going to have to remember to move your hitbox, which you do by selecting this little triangle with the squares on the edge. That way, when your player jumps over it and lands like in the middle here, it won't still kill it. So that's important to remember. So now, if you want this to kill your player, then you're going to have to open up your event sheet and add an event that sprite, so this is going to be your player, is overlapping another object, and then you're going to select this, and then once you have that, you're going to hover over your sprite here and look on the bottom right here where it says mouse and then the position of it. you're going to hover over this and then try to memorize that position. So my mouse is at 70, 481. So when you go into here, you're going to add an action, sprite, set position, to Y or X70, Y 481. Now let's just make sure I got that correct. Yes, I did. Okay. So once you have that, it's basically just gonna, every time your sprite has touched that, it's gonna set your sprite's position back to there. So when you click play and you move around a bit and then you land on the thing, it'll move you right back to the start there. And if you jump over it, then you won't die. But I would also recommend copying this and placing it over here. And I usually like to send these in Z order, send to bottom of layer, and that'll send it to the back there. And I move them down below the layer to kind of give the game some depth as well, and that makes it look a lot cooler. So now if you click play, you can move around, you can jump over the toxic stuff, and also if you want, you can edit the jump height and stuff of your player in here. So for behaviors, platform, and then you can set the max speed, you can move that up, you can move the acceleration up, deceleration, jump strength. I usually put that around 750 just because 600 isn't usually a very good number. And then for gravity, you're going to want to keep that the same. Max fall speed, you can lower that or put that up as much as you want. It's not going to change too much. And then double jump is the really fun thing to play around with. Like, double jump can really change the character of any game you create. So if I were to like turn this on, then click play, and it certainly makes it a lot easier, but you could have some cool effects when you double jump because there is like events for that. And you can also have jump sustain, which is essentially like if you click the arrow immediately and let go immediately, then you won't go as high. Like it'll probably be something like this. But if you hold the arrow key up, then you'll jump a lot higher like that. Do not put this at a super high number, otherwise you will crash the game. That's not very good. But that basically does it for this first section of the how to make a 2D platformer series, and I will see you guys in the next tutorial. Bye-bye.